Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today on the agenda we have, in my humble opinion, one of the greatest power ballad guitar solos of the 80s, with the solo to Love Song by Frank Hannon and Tesla. This is such a great solo and song and band for that matter, with loads of great classic blues rock licks to pull from it. What with Hannon being more of a Jimmy Page, Peter Frampton inspired guitarist and soloist, rather than your typical 80s hair metal shredder, which was pretty much de rigueur at this point in time in the late 80s, as you're no doubt well aware. That said, in hindsight, I'll take a solo like this any day of the week over the vast majority of the fleet-fingered whittly-diddly that was going on in the 80s. It's not the most difficult of 80s solos, but it has substance and style and boatloads of melody, which carries it a long way in relation to many other solos of that era. Certainly holds its own, at a time when all anyone else seemed to care about was speed, flash, and technical wizardry. Regardless, and needless to say, I like this solo a lot. So let's learn how to play it, shall we? Going to run through it first, and then we'll dig into the nuts and bolts of how it's played. And that's pretty much how you play that one. So we're soloing in the key of E minor using the E natural minor scale. We're also in standard tuning. The E natural minor scale right here at the 12th fret position. That scale right there. And the solo starts with a big slide down the neck into two open E strings. And then you're going to drop into this unison bend here at the 12th fret position. 12th fret of the high E, 15th fret of the B, holding that one still, bending the B string and giving some nice vibrato. And then you're going to slide out of it. Then you're going to drop right back onto the 15 for a bend release. Right back to the natural note and give it a pick. And then we're into this lick. Classic little blues lick, starts with a little trill between 12 and 15. And then you're going to grab the 14 of the G, give it a little bend, and then ride down the 12s of the B and the high E. And then you're going to pull off 15 to 12, and then you're going to pull off 14 to 12 twice on the G string. Kind of like that, right? So that's the opening of the solo. And then you're going to go off to two more open E strings into this lick. So 5-7, A string, down to 5 of the D, and then into a full step bend of the 7 of the D. Release it back to the natural note and then back off to 5. Back on to 7, slide it into 9, and then just a little hammer on release, 7 to 9 back to 7. Kind of like that, right? And then we're into this. So we're repeating this one octave higher. So this lick right here, I think he starts with a little mute. Kind of like that, right? A little down up mute. So he's going to pull off 10 to 9 of the D, then grab 12 of the A. And then he's going to repeat that an octave higher right here. 13 off to 12 of the B, grabbing the 14 of the G. Now you're going to pick that again, hammer onto 16. release it back off to 14, and then off to 12. Kind of like that, right? And then we're into this. So we're going to grab that 14 again, give it a full step bend, and then you're going to drop a little bar on the 15th fret of the B and the high E, and then kind of like sweep up the strings. And then when you get back to the G string, you release the bend, right? Off to 12, grab the 14 of the D, and then back to 12. Right, just like that. So from the beginning. And that's where we ended up. Now we're going to play this little lick. So it's like little triple hits on the 12. We're going to back it up to 11, back it up to 9, back it up to 7. So on the third pick strike, you're going to slide it back, right? 12 to 11 to 9 to 7. And then 3 or 4 hits of that 7, back onto 9, back off to 7. Right? Finishing the first half of the solo with this. So 2 or 3 hits of this 7 of the D, hammer on to 9, down to 7 of the G, back to 9. Little double bend there of 9 of the G, and release it off to 7. And that's the first half of the solo. From the beginning. Now we're into the second half of the solo, starts the exact same way as the first half. Right, exact same lick. But this time, instead of going down here, which we did at the first half, we're going to go back into another unison bend here on the 12-15. And then we're going to go into a big full step bend here on the 17th. It's kind of like this. Double hit of the low E, right back into a unison bend, and then up to 17. And then play that little lick there. So full step bend on the 17, off to 15, right back into a bend again. Pre-bend release, off to 15. And reapply to 17. And then we're into this little repeating lick. So we're just pulling off 13 to 12 of the B, grabbing the 14 of the G, repeat it 4 times. And then the 4th time you're going to hang on that 14, pick it, and then do the same little lick that we did earlier. Right? You're going to hammer on with your pinky to 16, pull it back off to 14, pull it off to 12. And then we're going to play the same lick we did earlier as well. Right? Leading into same lick that we did earlier, right? Descend. Same thing we did the first time, right? Except this is the end of the solo and it ends like this. So after you do that little descending pattern, right? You're going to drop onto the 5/7 of the A, full step bend release of that 7. Slide the 7 into 9, 7, 9 of the D, and down to 7 of the G. Kind of like that, right? Finishing with this lick. Sliding into 11 of the G, rolling down the 10s of the B and the high E. Onto 13 for a full step bend. And then you jump way up here to the 20th fret and you pick it like 6 or 7 times. The first couple of times you're right on the note, and then you start raising it until you get it up a full step, right? So the first 3 pick strikes I think are right on the note, and then you start raising it until you get it up a full pitch. Kind of like that, right? And then you add some vibrato. So that's the second half of the solo. And that's how you play that one. So let's take it right from the very beginning, and then we'll be done. And there you have it, my friends. That is how you play the Solo to Love Song by Frank Hannon and Tesla. I certainly hope you found that helpful. Were you looking to learn this one? And even if you weren't looking to learn this one, it is a great solo to learn because there's a lot of great phrasing in it and some nice blues licks and whatnot, and lots of little techniques, you know, like those little licks right there, right? Just great stuff to know. So anyway, take care of yourselves. Hope you're well, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.